light bulb. People said, what's with the light bulb? I said, here's the story. And I looked at it. The bulb that we're being forced to use, number one, to me, most importantly, the light's no good. I always look orange.
I've never understood the people who think that Donald Trump is funny or charming or charismatic, but that's actually pretty good. I kind of like that. What I don't like though is the substance behind the joke, because there he's joking about the fact that he doesn't like non-incandescent light bulbs. And the issue was that he didn't just not like it, he, in his power as president, stopped them from being phased out. And so for a couple more years, we had these incredibly inefficient and expensive light bulbs being sold all over the nation. Now the good news is that is finally once again gonna be reversed. The Energy Department finalized 2 rules beginning of this week requiring manufacturers to sell energy efficient light bulbs, effectively putting a sell-by date on older inefficient bulbs that don't meet the new standards. These new rules have to reverse the Trump era policy. They expand energy efficient requirements to more types of light bulbs and ban the sale of those that produce less than 45 lumens per watt. Now, this is good for a couple different reasons. So first of all, economically, the Biden administration estimates that when taken together, the 2 new rules will save consumers about $3 billion a year. They'll also cut carbon emissions by 222 million metric tons over the next 30 years, roughly equivalent to the annual energy generation requirements of 28 million homes. Because light bulbs, these incandescent light bulbs are very inefficient. They cost people more in energy. They produce a lot more carbon. All told, across all these different businesses and homes, it's a significant thing. It is not a replacement, Jordan. I think we can all agree, for the Green New Deal, but it's something at least. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's something, but it's nowhere near enough. So I really struggle to get excited about these types of things, even like acknowledging this is a step in the right direction. But what we really need is a comprehensive plan and a plan of action that gets implemented. Like, we're not going to really address the problem if we don't take on the main source of carbon emissions, right? The oil and gas industry, giant corporations, the US military. The US military it emits more carbon than, like, I think 100 different countries combined. It's the largest polluter in the world. Like, we need to take that on first. And Biden's doing some things to make the vehicles more climate friendly, but like, it's nowhere near enough. Yeah. And when you have the administration, beating Trump at the rate of greenlighting new drilling permits on public land, greenlighting a huge historic offshore drilling auction, despite not needing to, they lied. They lied to the public and said, "Oh, we have to do this by court order," and then later quietly in a memo acknowledged, well, we didn't really need to do this. Like, yeah. They're still beholden to big oil. And until we address that, individual consumer behavior isn't going to do anything. That's a myth largely pushed by oil and gas companies. The idea of a carbon footprint, an individual carbon footprint, was created by oil companies to shift the burden of responsibility onto you, the consumer. That's where this comes from. So paper straws, better light bulbs, okay, sure. But that's like putting a Band-Aid on like your arm that got amputated.
Yeah, in this case, like I agree. At the same time, I don't like the over focus on it. So we're trying to contextualize it. I do think where the government can make a regulatory change that in this case not only does the climate thing, but also saves the consumers money, that seems like a smart place to be doing them. But if that does replace, either for the government or in people's minds, the need for far more significant changes, then I agree. It's actually potentially doing more harm than good at that point. Also, it might not even happen because they started the phasing out process under Obama. Then Trump gets in, he stops it. Now Biden is in, so they've restarted it. Tom Cotton tweeted, height of inflation, crime, gas prices. But don't worry, America, Joe Biden is coming for your light bulbs. So if a conservative wins in 2024, they could just replace it again. They could just allow, like, this could be the battle of our time. It's like whether eggs are good or bad for you and it just switches every few years. It could be that, but for light bulbs. And again, I would argue, Tom Cotton, to use your formulation, yeah, so we have all these problems, inflation, crime, great gas prices. You're focusing on the light bulbs too. They just made the change. Now they're done. Now they're moving on to other things. You're still focusing on it. Aren't you kind of part of the problem? Anyway,
I mean,
they don't care.
Everything's a culture war. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, they will make it a culture war. And people, like their base, will just buy into it. Oh no, I'm gonna buy up all the old light bulbs that I can to trigger the libs. You remember, on the straws thing, they were selling like Trump plastic straws to stick it to the lips. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, they're gonna oppose it and also try to like monetize it. So get ready for like branded light bulbs as Republican, campaign products.
Why are any of these consumer things so partisan? Like, I'm gonna literally fill my house with light bulbs that cost me more in energy and heat up the place needlessly. For that, I'm gonna buy a truck bigger than I need, because that proves that I'm a conservative. I'm never gonna eat a substitute for meat, even though, look, there's a lot of great substitutes. Impossible nuggets need to become cheaper. Let's be clear about that, but they're better. They're already better. Nobody ever needs to eat a chicken nugget ever again. There's some types of food substitutes that maybe we're not quite 100%, but pretty close. The nuggets are literally better already than the actual chicken. And by the way, I've run the numbers. They have as much actual chicken as those chicken nuggets have. Let's be clear. There ain't no chicken in the chicken nuggets. There's just stuff that they scooped from a vat. So, but again, it's all partisan. It's all ideological. They would never switch over, even though it literally tastes better. They do need to get the price down a little bit though.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.